What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be checking out a brand new car that I picked up yesterday. And well, it's a parts car. But this is gonna give us a lot of the suspension bits and other odds and ends that we need to complete the 914. So let's go ahead and get it unloaded, see if we can stay a little bit dry out there in the rain. We'll get it in here in the shop and check it out. Even though this car looks pretty good from the outside, there's a lot of rust issues underneath that make it a great candidate for parts. We're going to totally strip this down and use as many parts as we can. We'll use a little bit of the interior there. I'm also going for the rear suspension bits, the trailing arms there I definitely need for my car. We'll probably use this rear hood at some point. Might put a luggage rack on there or something, as well as the front hood. I'm gonna go ahead and pull all the door guts out of this as well because I don't have the glass or regulators or any of that stuff in my car. So we're gonna go ahead and tear it all the way down to the chassis, use as many parts as we can on my car, and then part out the rest. Let's go ahead and get started by pulling off the rear and front trunk lid. Then we'll go ahead and jack it up and get it set on some jack stands. Being that this is a 50-year-old car, the suspension is pretty simple, so it shouldn't be too hard to get it off there. Although, because it is a 50-year-old car, there's also lots of coats of paint on there, as well as a bunch of rust in there that we're gonna have to fight through to get the parts off of. So the back end should be pretty simple. Basically all I gotta do is just disconnect the parking brake, the main brake line, the strut, and then the main bolts on the front holding the swing arm. Hopefully it comes off pretty easy, but we'll see how hard that rust and extra paint is to fight through. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on the back right corner and get this suspension all knocked off. Same thing for this side. Hopefully it goes as well as the other side did. Moment of truth here in the front end of this car. It looks like the original color was a nice light blue. That would actually look pretty good on this car. Kind of like that. Kind of a shame it was painted red. Since I'm taking the whole thing apart anyways, it looks like the easiest way to drop the front subframe and the steering rack is to pull the gas tank out first. So we're gonna go ahead and go in from the top, take that out so we can disconnect the steering shaft and drop everything out the bottom. Front suspension is out, a lot of surface rust on it, but once I clean it up, it should be in pretty good shape. Although to be honest, I'll probably use the stuff that came with the other car because it's already nice and painted. Steering rack looks very good, seems like it works very well. I'll go ahead and replace the boots and bushings and all that stuff before I put it in the other car, of course. That way I don't have to worry about taking it out anytime in the near future to replace simple little stuff like that I could just do while it's out of the car already. Now that all the suspension is off and pretty much everything from underneath the car, I'm gonna continue working on the front end here and get all of this stuff removed, and then we'll move to the interior. It is the next day working on the 914 parts car. The first thing I'm gonna try to tackle today is pulling the windshield out. First, we're gonna go ahead and remove this side trim here so we can get all the way around it, see if we can cut this thing out. Now to remove the windshield, I have this cheap windshield removal kit. Comes with some wire here to cut through the caulk, the glue that's holding the windshield on. Also have these two handles to be able to pull this wire. That way you're not cutting into your hands with it. As well as this tool to kind of poke it through the edge where that glue is so you can get the wire through to be able to start cutting it. I haven't used a kit like this before, so we'll see how it goes. The windshield came out a lot easier than I thought it would originally, maybe because it was put in poorly or because it was old and the glue was deteriorating, or maybe it's just easier to do than I think. But as you saw, I went ahead and cut the top and the sides. The bottom here I couldn't really get to with that tool very well because of this piece of trim along the dash here. So once I got the top cut, I went ahead and just pushed the windshield out slowly, making sure that this glue was coming undone and that I didn't hurt the windshield. So now we got that out, we're gonna go ahead and rip apart the rest of the interior in no particular order, really, I guess. I suppose we'll pull the seats out first, probably the steering wheel after that, and then go to town. Well, it looks like I don't have the right size socket for the steering wheel nut, so for now we're gonna go ahead and try to get this dash pulled apart. To hold the radio in, it was taped into a VHS tape. Now, I did just ruin the sticker on it. I'm not sure what tape it is, but it actually looks to be in pretty good shape. Oh, there we go. Rock Hard Abs, Denise. Look at that, we got a nice workout video with our 914. We've got the dash pad all the way out, still need to work on getting the framework behind it out. Got a few goodies here in the center console as well that came with it or hooked up. Got this nice Sun Pro tack here. Not gonna use it for this project, but we might keep that around for something else. Got a bunch of switches on the center console that the previous owner added, it looked like, that who knows what they're for, and they're not particularly well attached, if you can see by me just ripping those wires off, so maybe I'll use those switches for something in the future too. I'm gonna go ahead and keep at this interior, maybe see if I can get the shifter out and work away getting the dash removed. That is it today for the 914. It is pretty much completely stripped down to the frame. There's a few more parts I'll still pull out, like the pedal cluster there in the coming days, but mostly just got the useless wiring harness left. have the brake master cylinder left. I'll probably still pull out, and got some random parts stored in the front there. But for the most part, it is stripped down to the shell. It continues to amaze me how simple these cars are. It has been so easy to take this thing apart, which I've been relieved to find, because that means it should be not too bad putting this one together, although there is a lot of customization going into it, so it definitely will take some time. It is time for me to get this whole mess of parts and my tools cleaned up so I can head home and get some rest. Make sure to hit that subscribe button below, because you are not gonna wanna miss the rest of this build or the other projects I have coming to the channel. Thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.